Buongiorno e ciao a tutti, I'm Aaron here at 99 Problemi. Today I have a video for you on the presente indicativo, continuing this series of videos on regular and irregular verbs, and this video is about the two ways in Italian that you say the verb to know. And there's one irregular verb, sapere, and there's one regular verb, conoscere. They both mean to know, and this video will focus on how to choose between the two verbs and also how do I conjugate them. So let's get to that right now. Here's the verb sapere and conoscere. There are the subject pronouns io, tu, lui, lei, noi, voi, and loro. So sapere is io so, I know. Tu sai, you know. Lui, lei sa, that is he, she, you formal, knows. Noi sappiamo, we know. Voi sapete, you all know. And loro sanno, they know. A couple things about this verb. You notice that in the noi form here, it has a double P here, and then in the voi form goes back to a singular P. So be aware of that. Notice that there's no real stem here in the io, tu, lui, lei forms, because it's not sapo. That's a common error that students commit. Sapo, sapi. It's not that. It's so, sai, sa. They're nice, concise, short verbs, just like in avere, o, ai, a, or dare, do, dai, da. They're much more, they're just nice, short, concise forms. But they do throw people off. Voi is the only regular form, it's sapete. Loro sanno is also recognized by that double N, which is very common in these irregular verbs, to throw in the double N. So that's sapere, and that's to know. And then there's conoscere, which is to know as well, and this is totally regular. You just chop off that ERE and add the typical OIE, iamo, ete, ono endings of the second conjugation, or the ERE conjugation endings in the present tense. Okay, so when do you use sapere? You use it when you talk about facts. And here's an example sentence. Giorgio sa chi è il presidente della Repubblica Italiana. So Giorgio knows who the president of the Italian Republic is. You'll notice that these facts are often introduced with an interrogative pronoun. So that's the stuff that they know, the part that comes after the chi. Interrogative pronouns are like chi, che, come, che cosa. They're essentially the question words. However, in this case, they're not used as questions. Okay, the question is not chi è il presidente, it's Giorgio sa chi è il presidente. He knows who the president is. So if you see one of those interrogative pronouns, you should think use sapere, because they're saying that you know a fact or a situation, and that's what is introduced here with your knowledge of a situation. So come arrivare a casa, I know how to get home. Again, come, another interrogative pronoun, introduces the thing that is known, the knowledge of the situation. And you can also use sapere in this very interesting, powerful way, which is to use sapere conjugated plus an infinitive. So in this case, Gianni sa parlare bene l'inglese. So Johnny knows how to speak English well. And you can use that with anything. Forse Gianni sa cucinare la pasta proprio al dente. He knows how to cook pasta. You could just put in any infinitive there that you want, really, or that you can have knowledge of, and competence in doing. Moving on to conoscere, this is used when you know or are acquainted with a person or a place. So you can use it in this case, like conosco Giorgio da molto tempo. I've known Giorgio for a long time. Or you can also use it in the situation where you know a city, conosce bene Roma, Or like this example, they know a museum well. Stefano e Riccardo conoscono bene questo museo. So Stefano and Riccardo know this museum very well. Okay, so exercises in this case are divided between two different slides that ask two different things. And the second slide is more difficult than the first. So in this first slide, I'm just asking you to conjugate the verbs. Make sure you know how to conjugate these, have memorized how to conjugate them, and spent that time. And then it's followed up by making the judgment between sapere and conoscere given a situation introduced in the sentences on the next slide. So let's focus on this first. I'll show you an example. To sapere, you write down sai. That's the conjugation for you know. So you should pause it here and write out the exercises. You see that arrow in number 3 pointing to that pink or magenta dash there. That means make it negative. So if number 1 were negative, it would be non sai. You just put non, N-O-N, in front of the verb. That's how you make anything, almost anything negative in Italian. All right, if you're ready to go now, and you do number 2 here is io so, I know. Number 3, you don't know, is tu non sai. 4 is noi sappiamo. 5 is noi non sappiamo, we don't know. 6 is voi sapete, you all know. 7, loro sanno, is they know. 8, he doesn't know, is lui non sa. 9 is lei sa, she knows. And 10 is io non so. 11, going on to conoscere now, is non conosce, lui non conosce, he doesn't know that person or place. 12 is tu non conosci, tu non conosci. 13 is noi conosciamo, conosciamo. 14 is io conosco, I know. 15 is loro conoscono. 16 is lei, that's the formal you. Conosce, you want to show respect, you say lei conosce. 17, tu conosci. 18, lei conosce, conosce. 19, voi conoscete. And 20 is io non conosco. Alright, so if you found that easy, maybe this will provide you a little bit more challenge, a little bit more feedback on these. So for each of these sentences, decide based on the context, whether you sapere or conoscere, and then conjugate the verb based on the subject. Okay, so you can pause it right here and take a look at these and unpause it, and I'll give you the answers. So number 1, the first one, which is tu blank tante persone in Italia, you figure out, well, what is the thing that is known here? They know people. Okay, so we'll just say sapere or conoscere for that one. When you know people, you know that you have to use conoscere. So, tu conosci tante persone in Italia. You're acquainted with many people in Italy. Number 2, what's the thing being known? It's chi è il presidente degli Stati Uniti, which goes back to the example sentence about the Presidente della Repubblica Italiana. I was trying to get you to think about that one, and it is in fact sapere, because it is a fact. So chi è il presidente degli Stati Uniti, a fact. 3, loro, questa città. Okay, so they know a city. So when you know a place well, and you're acquainted with a place, you need conoscere. And so loro conoscono questa città. They're acquainted with that city. 4, noi, and then it's blank, cucinare il cibo indiano. So they know how to do something. And remember, when you know how to do something, that's the other use. You see an infinitive after the blank. It's cucinare, to cook Indian food. So we know how to cook Indian food. That is sappiamo cucinare il cibo indiano. So how to do something that takes sapere. And the final one, 5, lui blank come arrivare a casa nostra. This is another one about he knows how to get to our house. This is knowledge of a situation, therefore sapere. Sa come arrivare a casa nostra. He knows how to get to our house. There you go. E grazie tante. If you like this lesson, please leave me a comment and a like on the YouTube page. It is much appreciated. Also, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I have pages at 99 Problemi. And there's also the website 99problemi.com. And again, grazie mille. Ciao ciao.